Welcome to the Tour de France, the place where the strongest riders thrive against the toughest tests. Derek G is hoping to do just that, and he's our special guest this week on the Gruppetto. We'll also have highlights from the Thuringen Ladies Tour, and we'll recap those opening couple of fantastic days over in Italy as the Tour got underway with a bang.
Yes, the most anticipated Tour de France in years is underway. The big four in the GC, Project 35 among the sprints, and stage hunters galore, headlined by the world champion. A 26th foreign start and first ever from Italy. Florence, the host for stage one. A tough 206-kilometre test over the Apennine hills to Rimini after the crowds had been out in force in the Renaissance city. The heat was on from the start, literally as well. Mark Cavendish was suffering in it, but surrounded by teammates working to limit the damage, as the peloton chased a strong breakaway, including former stage winners Mohoric and Izagirre. Jonas Abrahamsson was making the headlines, picking up points on the climbs, on his way to becoming the first Norwegian rider to take the polka dot jersey. The time to Cavendish grew, as he was joined in a growing Gruppetto by Jakobsen and other sprinters. It was starting to look, however, like they were probably going to make the time limit, despite another Astana Kazakhstan rider, Michele Gazzoli, having to abandon the race with heat stroke. The unfortunate first rider to leave the race was one of the 8 Italians on the start line. The action at the front included several teams riding, then knocking off the pace, including UAE Emirates and EF Education EasyPost. But it was Romain Bardet of DSM Firmenich Postenel who launched a surprise move from the peloton to bridge to the remaining breakaway riders, one of them being teammate Frank van den Broek. The two united and rode together, riding away the remaining competition as the peloton tried to chase them down. That chase would go down to the wire as encouragement roared down the radio.
Boys, come on! This is really good, come on! Frank, this is amazing, Frank, come on!
It wasn't until the last couple of 100 metres that Bardet could look round and realise what his team was about to do. Take a mightily special 1-2. He was going to win a stage for a 4th time in his Tour de France career, but at the age of 33 and riding his final tour, the Frenchman was going to pull on the yellow jersey for the first time ever. He'd be the 99th Frenchman to do so. The drama behind calmed, and the dropped riders made the finish line with a good 10 minutes to spare to the time cut. Those who'd looked in danger lived to fight another day. On to day 2, with a finale around Bologna centred on San Luca, a devilishly difficult climb with its 666 arches lining the 2 kilometres to the top of the road. An iconic hill with icons of modern cycling ready to battle it out on its slopes. Bardet had a chance to enjoy most of his day in yellow, with a 10-man break up the road and nobody in it remotely able to threaten his GC position. The GC time gaps after day 1 already bigger than at the end of some opening weeks of Tours de France. But as the breakaway moved to fight it out for the stage, those threats to yellow would come from the main favourites. Riding through the packed crowds, Kevin Vauquelin made his move, dropping Abrahamsson, who was again up the road. As the peloton followed a few minutes behind, Tadej Pogačar then attacked. Jonas Vingegaard, however, was able to follow, and after all of the uncertainty, he'd stand toe-to-toe with his great rival. Remco Evenepoel and Richard Carapaz were chasing them down the hill to the line, though. All eyes then fell on that finish line, as 23-year-old Vauquelin made it the best French start to a Tour since the 1960s. 2 wins in 2 days for the nation that gave birth to the race. This victory for young Vauquelin was the first ever at the Tour for French team Arkea BMW. But Bardet, who was the first Frenchman in 3 years to wear the yellow jersey, would lose it, despite Carapaz winning the sprint from a small chasing group. And Pogačar not seeming overly keen to grab it this early on, The cumulative positions over the opening couple of days, with everybody tied on time in that group, meant that the lead belonged to the Slovenian. Going into Monday's stage 3, the gaps are still small, however. Pogačar, Vingegaard and Evenepoel are all level, with Roglic and the rest just 21 seconds back. Now, the European Football Championships wasn't the only sporting event in Germany last week. The 36th edition of the Lotto Thuringen Ladies Tour began with a breakaway win for Margot van Pachtenberger, the first win of the 25-year-old Belgian's career. She got the better of Ruth Edwards with the rest of the peloton at 2.5 minutes. The sprinters didn't mess up on day 2 though, with Italian Martina Fidanza coming out on top. The highest ranked road win of her career, and the first time that the Ceratizit WNT rider has taken more than a single victory in a season. This sport is in Fidanza's blood. Her sister is also a pro, father a former Tour and Giro stage winner, and the cycling family had yet another trophy to put in their cabinet a day later. Back-to-back wins for Martina. The attacks on day 4's loop stage around Mühlhausen were followed perfectly by the GC leader von Pachtenberger. But after that was won by Classics and cross-star Lucinda Brond, the biggest test would arrive on stage 5. A time trial, and von Pachtenberger's ride against the clock wasn't anywhere near strong enough, shipping over 4 minutes over the 31.5 kilometres. Edwards took over the lead after a 4th place finish behind stage winner Misha Bredevold, the first time trial win of her career. Spanish sprinter Sandra Alonso was the fastest from a group of almost 30 riders on the final day, making it 3 stage wins from 6 for the German Ceratizit squad riding at home. Edwards' general classification success will have felt very good. The US rider for human-powered health standing on top of a final GC podium for the first time since January 2020.
We all remember Derek G's brilliant performance at the Giro D'Italia last year. This time out though, he surprised us all as the GC surprise of the summer. So we thought we'd send Hannes Milker to meet him in Florence to find out what makes him tick.
So Derek, we missed you at the Giro, mate.
It was tough watching it on TV. Yeah, pretty special memories from last year, but here at the Tour, so not too bad. After the Giro, maybe kind of open the possibilities of different kinds of I guess, racing styles than maybe we assumed. I was a bigger guy coming in, came from the track. And I think the idea was, oh, maybe, you know, he could do well in classics. I missed all the classics anyway because I crashed, so it got a bit of a head start on that. The goal was a top 15 at Dauphiné, so it went a little better than expected.
Still 200 metres to go, and G's got another bite of the cherry maybe. Behind they hesitate too much, and Derek G hits the front. Derek G's going to do it. Oh my word, and look at this from Derek G. Finally the moment arrives.
I wouldn't say I'm an overconfident kind of guy, so I think it actually does take a result that big to really yeah, get my head around the fact that on a good day I can compete with the best, and yeah, hopefully that's still the case this summer.
It's unbelievably special to win here. I've been waiting for a win in Europe. I've come second enough times, and it was nice to finish it off.
There's no comparison to the Tour. You hear pros who have been pro for 10, 15 years say it, how big of a race it is. The ambition is to win a stage. I'd really love to come out with a stage win, but it just depends how many breaks go to the line, what stages, you know, how the race ends up being raced, and yeah, just try and fight for as many as possible.
Now, we all know the Giro d'Italia is tough. The Vuelta A Espana pits you against the very best in the world. But this is the Tour de France. This is what bike riders live for. And this is what we live for as fans as well, where the hype is at its highest, the competition at its most fierce. So you can join us on our Tour journey each and every day throughout the 3 weeks. We're only just beginning, aren't we? Eurosport Discovery Plus, the place to be. And each and every evening, if you can't catch it, you can catch us on the Eurosport Cycling YouTube channel, where you can see the condensed highlights, opinions, and every Monday we'll be here with the Gruppetto as well. A reminder that also coming up for our viewers on Max in the USA, we've got the Giro D'Italia Women. That starts soon. Plenty of cycling coming up, even beyond and away from the Great Tour de France. But we're getting going, aren't we? We've another week to go. I've got another stage to commentate. So we'll reconvene next week at the end of an opening week that will see a time trial and that champagne gravel stage around Troyes. For now though, from Spain, it's goodbye from the Gruppetto.